Welcome back to the Crypto's Key Conversation. So there's been a lot of stuff happening, and I know you've been tracking stuff over the weekend, but just to kind of quickly put it out there for those of you who may not know, Yasan had put this up. So obviously Silverbank, Silicon Valley Bank, so SVB and Signature Bank all had went offline, and Yasan here saying gone, but there's been some updates that I'm going to cover in this video here that's going to tell kind of what's been happening in regards of bailouts and stuff. But there's been a lot of chaos, but obviously we've had a lot of upside that's been happening since Friday. We had a massive downside. I think we went down to like 20,000 or something. Now we're back up to 24,000 in Bitcoin. But quickly jumping into the content, Digital Asset Investor hits it on the head here, and I want to start the video off with this. It says the real story is not the banks collapsing, the federal government intentionally doing it to crush crypto and then coming in to save them. So remember, we talk a lot about custody on this channel and how, they want the incumbents in Wall Street and, the big players, if you will, to be able to be the dominant forces within this space when it comes to the crypto and digital asset age and this technology. They want to be able to be the ones to custody all this stuff, right? And have the bigger slice of the pie. So this is just another part of their narrative. And there's been some speculation that all these bank collapses, and we're going to cover Signature Bank because they came out and made a statement on it. But with all these collapses, it's all part of their narrative. You have Do Kwon and Terra Luna, you have FTX, and all the attacking these crypto platforms and these exchanges, right? It's all part of their plan. So we're going to continue on here. Here we go. Elizabeth Warren, she says bank failures are the direct result of leaders in Washington weakening the financial rules. In 2018, President Trump signed a law rolling back critical protections. I fought these changes. I warned that that banks would end up risk. I wished I'd be wrong. So obviously she's referring to this Silicon Valley Bank debacle here. And the crazy thing is like as all this stuff was happening, she had put this out on March 8th. It says, as the bank of choice for crypto, Silverbank Bank's failure is disappointing but predictable. I warn of Silvergate's risky, if not illegal, activity and identify severe due diligence failures. New customers must be made whole, and regulators should step up and step up against crypto risk. So this goes in line with what digital asset investors talking about. Like, they're going to come in, right? They're going to capitalize on the chaos. Whether they create it or not, they're going to capitalize on the chaos and try to come save the day. Even though that all of their actions, from their overregulation by enforcement, for their faulty and backdoor deals and scandalous conflicts of interest, they're going to fit everything to fit their narrative and then step in and be like, oh, I got you. It's almost like stab you in the back but heal your wounds tactic. It's tragic, man. And we know all about Elizabeth Warren and her buddy Chairman Gensler and the likes. It's just shameful that these are our representatives. Met Lawman had put this up. He says, we just got confirmation from an insider that regulators are executing a plan to kill crypto, which is tragic. It says Barney Frank told Bloomberg Radio today that, one, Signature Bank was shuttered because the regulators, quote, wanted to send a message to get people away from crypto. Two, we, Signature Bank, were singled out to be the poster child for that message. Whatever you think of his politics, Barney was always candid. He just said out loud what the administrative state has been trying to keep quiet. So if we continue on over here, Eleanor Terrace responding to Nick Carter here says, dear God, Barney Frank openly admits that Signature was arbitrarily shuttered despite no insolvency because regulators wanted to kill off the last major pro-crypto bank. Colossal scandal. It says new Signature Bank board member Barney says the bank closure was political. I mean, really think about that. It is absolutely sickening and tragic that's the reality. That's what we're living in. And right here, this is, I guess, some positive out of it. It says the U.S. government steps in. It says people with funds deposited on Silicon Valley Bank will be able to assess their money. So obviously they're coming in to bail out those. And I think it's even beyond the FDIC insured. They insure up to 250,000 or whatever. But I guess if they have, a massive amount of money. I think there was like something along the lines of like 3.3 billion by some entity, and apparently they're going to get their money because the bank's going to be bailed out. But all this stuff is fitting into that narrative. And then Yasan had this point here. It's like, okay, well, Silvergate Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and Signature Bank, top crypto banks, are gone. Can anyone name a bank still in operation today in the United States of any size that offers crypto services on and off ramps to fiat from crypto? Which is, it started a whole conversation. I mean, it had 122,000 views on it. We're going to continue on here. Digital Asset Investor had put this up, and I thought it was pretty powerful. quote tweeting Plant XRPs. It says Jamie Dimon, governments will crush Bitcoin. So it says, you were warned, killing Bitcoin would be the final kill shot. Everyone in this space has ignored the fact that the government has admitted on video they met with the 4 Satoshis. Why do you think they haven't come out and addressed this? Why have they pretended for all these years that it's some unknown person? Pay attention. Let's take a quick listen into this.
You have Bitcoins, but the other guy will pay for it. And I think, honestly, I think there's a good chance that Bitcoin, a lot of the buyers out there are up there jazzing up every day so that maybe you'll buy it too and take them out. And I quite mean that, by the way. You know, these people are very good at manipulating the press these days and getting news out. And so every day, you know, you have CNBC, nonstop Bitcoin. Who cares about Bitcoin? I mean, you know, the world's economy is so big. We move, JP Morgan alone, these companies, $6 trillion. We move all this money, and Bitcoin in total is all these currencies are $50 billion, maybe $1 billion trades a day. And the other thing I've always made of Bitcoin, governments, and this is not a technological statement, governments are going to crush it one day. Governments like to know where the money is, who has it, and what you're doing with it. And in case you haven't noticed, okay? And governments like to control their currency.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's no secret, and it's going to tie into this right here. It says, what if I told you we uncovered the direct, this is from Jonathan, it says, what if I told you we've uncovered the direct links of collusion between Citadel, FTX, Gary Gensler, Mark Ellis, and likely the 3-letter agency. It says, objectives: destroy crypto, corner traditional equity, debt, securities markets, wreck middle class, rig elections, usher in the Great Reset. So all of it is this fitness narrative of getting a bigger piece of the pie, you know, having the dominant force when it comes to custody, you know, them having the bigger piece of the pie. It's like the same rinse and repeat cycle all over again. It's like they're controlling and dominating, you know, the next 100 to 200 plus years when it comes to just alone, when it comes to, you know, money and cross-border remittances and real-time payments and just the technology and innovation. Clearly they're going to have a stranglehold and a monopoly on everything, which is tragic. And I like what Tony Edward said here. It says, remember, we are in the quote, then they fight you phase. So he's talking about Tim Draper when he had that interview with Chairman Gensler on we've showed it on this channel a lot, but they had an interview where Tim Draper was pretty much calling Chairman Gensler and his buddies out on how they're going to operate when it comes to this space. He says the incumbents have politicians like Senator Elizabeth Warren and regulators like Gary Gensler in their pocket and are fighting hard, but they won't win. Disruptive technology always wins, as history has shown us. They may win the battle, but they won't win the war. I mean, yeah, shout out Tony Edward from Thinking Crypto, because I truly believe that. I mean, we have sound people fighting the good fight with us on a day-to-day basis. But like I said, we have a lot of positive price action. I mean, look, in the 24-hour, 15% for Bitcoin, Ethereum sitting up 10%, XRP sitting up 4.2%, still down. But I mean, I think it went as low as like 35 cents or something like that. But we're having, you know, some positive price action. Let's see where we're at in the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. We're staying out of neutral. We were just at a 33. This is going to be a waiting game to kind of see how things roll up. Think about all this chaos that's happening, right? What can help solve this big problem when it comes to insolvency, banking closures, you know, with real-time payments, cross-border remittances, right? Transparency. Let's play that video. Here it is.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors? Former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany? Former business director at Swift? Former Swift board member? Former CFO of PayPal? Former head of the DTCC? Former chief business officer at Uber? Former VP of Amazon and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.
The question is that bigger plan what's been happening? Is it all part of that narrative as well? Just a waiting game. But that's what I have for you. Make sure you protect yourself out there, like I always tell you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there and be safe.